representatives of the insurance companies, dear colleagues, Professor Jorion, dear students, ladies and gentlemen. Ethics and property are at odds with each other. Those who have plenty are no longer the masters of their property. In fact, their property is now ruling over them and dictates their behavior. They become increasingly greedy, and this jeopardizes ethical behavior. This is the reason why capitalism, or in any case, this type of capitalism, is doomed to failure. Economists did not anticipate this when they devised the system. This is a quote from an interview given by Professor Paul Jorion last year to the NRC Handelsblad, a Dutch quality newspaper. People who know me know that I'm reasonably optimistic, and I'm therefore not entirely sure whether I agree with Paul Jorion or not. But what I do know is that I am 100% in favor of the appointment of Paul Jorion as chairholder and guiding spirit of the Stewardship of Finance chair. I'll try and explain to you why. Last week, during my opening speech at the start of the new academic year, I made the case for more entrepreneurship at our university, and by extension, to all universities. We must attract significantly more money from the private sector than is currently the case by implementing a targeted and dynamic policy aimed at innovation. This is necessary because, on the one hand, it is clear that we need more resources at university, and on the other hand, because we are currently far too dependent on the government itself. The government from Flanders up to Europe accounts for no less than 80% of our resources at the university, and they are not providing this money unconditionally. On the contrary, the government increasingly puts its stamp on research topics, and therefore on the research that we all carry out at our university and other universities. And this is not good. We must therefore ensure that a proportion of private funding rises significantly in order to achieve a better balance between government funding and private resources. If we are no longer almost exclusively dependent on one party, the freedom of research can only increase. That's why we focus so strongly on chairs that are funded externally, because this enables us to carry out research that is important from a social point of view and on which we would otherwise not be able to concentrate on. However, not everyone appears to be in favor of this. Not all of you are in favor of this. Some people suggest that private partners would be tempted to exert their influence over a chair or over research projects, and that the university would not be able to resist such pressure. And this is where I'm coming to my point. With the appointment of Paul Jorion as chairholder, and therefore as the guiding spirit of the Stewardship of Finance chair, we simply prove the skeptics are wrong. The 6 large insurance companies that finance this chair have aligned themselves as one, behind someone who does not go easy on the financial world. Someone who, through his substantiated criticism of capitalism as it exists today, has acquired world fame as a vote against capitalism. As we know, it is. This suggests that insurance companies, like the university itself, are convinced that only intellectual debate and free research can lead to new understanding and insights from which society can benefit. Our 6 insurance companies not only aim to make a profit, but want to do this on the basis of integrity and transparency, and on an ethical basis. I would therefore like to to thank the 6 companies and the people representing them over here today for trusting the VUB to approach this complex issue in a superior scientific manner. More specifically, purposeful, but at the same time in full freedom. Because, ladies and gentlemen, dear colleagues, dear students, academic freedom must remain the central focus in this and in all the other chairs that are financed by external funds, in all research projects that involve private partners, and in everything that is financed by government too. Academic freedom in the area of research and education, because academic freedom safeguards something that we hold dear. The ethicist Batin phrased it aptly when he stated that academic freedom is the essential prerequisite to be able to respect the reasonableness of the matter itself in scientific research or in critical interviews, in order to ensure that the truth may come to the light unobstructed. This requires an unprejudiced attitude, a researcher who does not feel the need to steer the outcome of an experiment or an argumentation in a particular direction. In other words, this means that the researcher comes to his or her conclusions after considering all the possible relevant facts and all the possible connections, and that his or her judgment is only based on what is plausible on the basis of the study of the issue itself. Finally, the researcher is also aware that no opinion can be a final opinion, because new facts or arguments can radically change any conviction at any time. End of quote. I have nothing to add to this. For us, for the VUB, this free research, this free education is very essential and will always be. I will no longer put your patience to the test. I'm therefore very pleased to give the floor to the man you really came for. It's Professor Paul Jorion. I thank you, and on behalf of you all, I want to thank my colleague Michel Flamet for all his effort that he has done to bring this chair to life. Thank you, Michel, and good success, Paul.